Today we find ourselves in the Georgetown room in Wolfington Hall, the Jesuit residence on the university campus where I live. Here we see our usual seasonal decorations, and I find it very festive here throughout the Christmas season. The season is drawing to a close, however. This coming Sunday we will hear of the visit of the Magi to the Holy Family. On Monday we'll celebrate Jesus' baptism, and that feast completes the Christmas season. So, when do you take your Christmas decorations down? In medieval England, which is to say Catholic England, decorations were put up on December 24 and remained up until Candlemas on February 2nd, the feast of the Purification of the Virgin Mary, now known as the Feast of the Presentation of the Child Jesus. This tradition continued until Vatican II, making the season of Christmastide 40 days, corresponding to the 40 days of Lent. More recently, Catholics take their decorations down on either the 12th night following Christmas Day, known as Twelfth Night, or on Epiphany, or after the Feast of the Baptism of Jesus, usually a week after Epiphany, but this year celebrated on Monday, January 8. When I was a child, the family next door, whose children were more or less my age, took down their decorations right after Christmas Day, for reasons I do not remember. This always seemed rather severe to me, but their parents were a severe and dysfunctional lot. My parents had no set preference. Their view was the later, the better. But generally, my mother's more practical approach held sway over my father's more romantic approach. So we took them down the second or third weekend of January. We were Protestants, remember, with no liturgical calendar to guide us. What was very clear in my family, and in so many others, was that the putting up of the decorations brought great joy, and taking them down brought great sadness. Why do you suppose that that might be true? One reason might be that Isaiah's extravagant prophecies about the Messiah's relieving human suffering come to us amidst real social and personal suffering. How reasonable does it seem that the birth of a babe by itself will actually help us deal with human suffering? Strangely enough, the birth of the child by itself, without further study and much prayer, has less intuitive appeal than the bright lights of the Christmas decorations and all that goes with them. Let's list the essentials of the image, the dream, perhaps the mirage of the ideal Christmas. Beautiful snow falling and accumulating on streets, lawns, and evergreen boughs. Dark of night, pierced shiningly by Dickensian streetlights. Warmth of hearth, of decorated house, of family and friends. The prospect of delicious food and real food aromas, of gifts given and received, of festive music, both Handel's Messiah and Mel Torme, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, and Irving Berlin, I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. No surprise here. These essentials offer deep appeals to all the five human senses, and, most of all, to the very deep human desire for peace of heart, security of shelter, food and drink, health and well-being, belonging and relationship. These are Maslow's hierarchy of needs, with the beating heart replacing the analyzing brain at the center of it all. The contrast, of course, is to life as we actually live it, even in the most prosperous country in all human history. Imagine that elegant Georgetown has rats on the street, garbage, and endless traffic. If the life goal of ever-increasing affluence and social standing are a never-attained target, where else do we look? Our answers as Catholic Christians might be to that which underlies the decorations, to that which the babe represents as an achievable reality in our own lives. We can have experiences of divine love, of the child ever born anew in us, that register in any number of ways. Here are three: intuitions of well-being or emotional respite, moments of realization that our lives are worth living, perceptions of the beauty and joy around us. These intuitions, moments, and perceptions may be fleeting, but as we pay attention, we see that they are very real. They accumulate over time and become thematic in our lives in ways that make our lives worth living. These moments are recognitions of the child's birth amidst poverty, being reborn in us in our poverty. In the same way, we can have intuitions, moments, and perceptions of the man-child's resurrection from the dead, lifting us into a new place in our lives. So the decorations are lovely, to be sure, and sitting here is quite pleasurable. But they are manifestations of something much deeper, the new hope we gain in this Christmas season as the child is reborn in all of us.